I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again. Even for you. I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
The Mad Titan Podcast with your host, Jay Washington.
What's happening, everybody? It is an all-new episode of the Mad Titan Podcast with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington.
And your boy, B to the C, back in the house. How we doing?
That guy's there. I'm good, and I'm tired. I'm drained. It's been a long weekend, you know. We could talk WrestleMania and all that, but that was oh shit. I was
Good morning. You're leaving that in.
Let's
We're
try this
leaving
again
that
from
in.
the beginning. Let's try this from the beginning. No, it's just been I've had shows all weekend on top of everything else. So I couldn't go to Mania because financially I couldn't do it.
I was trying so hard, Jay. I was really fucking trying.
Because it's like everybody's like, well, what about going to Mania? Like, I would have been able to get I could have got to Mania. Getting in Mania would not have been a problem at all. I know too many people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know there's people that work at the company. I could have gotten there.
Yeah. The problem was finding a place to stay in Las Vegas.
Place to stay. And then when you got to eat and everything, you know they jacking shit up because Vegas knows it's a spectacle going on.
And I've got a gambling problem, so.
Which you need to deal with yourself. But other than that, I had a lot of shows that I was trying to pinch pennies together and trying to do things with. So it was just nonstop going in. After I did my show last night, I went and had Easter dinner with the family. And the family is like, you know, it's a section of Black Hollywood that is just not like Black Hollywood is massive, but there's a part of Black Hollywood we all come together and it's just all kicking it. It's just all love. There's nobody really, you know, we talk about the bullshit with the industry, but ain't nobody really trying to pitch work and shit like that. And, you know, and just hanging out with people. And it's crazy because like I was talking some shit with Sid and Sydney, and she was one of the head Dora Milaje and Black Panther. So we're just chopping it up, talking shit. But now, what's good with you, man?
Nothing, man. Just been, you know, WrestleMania. You know, this is my favorite weekend. Like, I love WrestleMania weekend. Not to mention, you know, so I've been dealing with the FOMO, bro. I've been dealing with the FOMO hard because one, I don't like when people are in Vegas without me in the first place. All right. Number two, add in that it's WrestleMania weekend, and I'm really feeling left out. But you know, I had a good time. I got together with some of the boys from back in the day. We watched WrestleMania night 1, and then a couple people came over to my crib for night 2. It was a good time. We've had a little bit of weather here, but you know, we've been okay. It was a good weekend, busy week.
What is weather in Dallas?
A little rain, which makes it difficult to take Coda outside because it's a lot of mud.
By the way, thank you to everybody. So if you're watching this live on not live, but if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Everybody can see everything. For those who are listening to it on all the podcast feeds or you listening to it, we appreciate you. I need to make sure I do this in advance. Pull up these emails from this other email account. But we appreciate it. For those who are new to what happens here on the show, we get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. It's Barbershop Talk for Nerds. So when I say that, I mean that I'm going to say some shit that's going to probably hurt your feelings. And I know that because I've said some shit, and in the YouTube comments of certain videos, people still be in their fucking feelings. And it's like, you don't have to get over yourself real quick and get your life together. But
get your life together.
Well, because it's like, listen, I know a lot of us have connections to a lot of these properties, right? A lot of us grew up on a lot of this stuff. A lot of us have loved Marvel, DC comic books, and even when it comes to other things like Star Wars, Star Trek, you know, all type of fantasy, sci-fi, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, it happens. I get it. But some people like now, like grown-ass men, Y'all gotta chill.
Mhm.
Y'all gotta chill. Y'all just gotta chill. But I'm gonna kick it off with we always talk about this. So there is listen, I don't know what to keep telling y'all. There ain't a lot of DC news. Okay. Like we're stuck
It
on
is
DC for
the calm before the storm.
literally because all there is Superman news. But this one is gonna make some people probably mad, and I shook my head when I heard it. So the new Superman merchandise has been coming around, hitting shelves and stuff, right? But with all the people we're expected to see in this movie, from Superman himself, Hawk Girl, Green Lantern Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, um, they have given the movie a superhero team name, and okay, so I'm gonna tell you the team name, and okay, so the Imaginext playset was officially revealed as the quote unquote Justice Gang multi-pack.
Justin's gang.
Justice Gang multi-pack. Now,
Represent. We the Justice Gang. How you doing?
now the
Gang
costumes for all
Justice.
these heroes appear to have a JL logo on the front, so it's hard to say why they call it the Justice Gang.
We all about
But
the Justice Gang.
This is what it says in the description. This is from the official description, y'all. Collectors will appreciate the 6-character set featuring heroes and villains from the upcoming film. The 3-inch scale figures include Superman, Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, Crypto, and the Kaiju. Each superhero figure features iconic details and posable limbs designed for small hands, except for the Kaiju, whose limbs remain stationary. Now, we can't say this is the official name because Gunn has said the team technically doesn't exist as far as the Justice League, right? This is what he says. Yeah, they're light canon. Peacemaker's pretty straightforward, with the exception of the appearance of it by a certain group at the end, which we all know what he's talking about, the former DCU Justice League. He said they don't exist yet, but the rule is if we mention something from the past in one of our new DCU shows and movies, then it happened. So that's the way we're dealing with it.
So basically, it's like, look, we're gonna do what the fuck we want, and if you got a problem with it, we don't care. Which I love that attitude.
You know what? I said this on my breakdown of the behind the scenes featurette that they dropped.
Which I didn't watch. Did you like it? Is it good?
Yeah, it was decent. It just gave you a little bit more insight into it.
I heard it was more about how James Gunn has been working and stuff. It's mostly about him. That's what I heard.
I mean, yeah. I guess you can say
more
that.
about like the concept of how this came together and how James is working and what it's like to work with James on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
So it's that. And I mean, it gives you a few more little details, little tidbits on certain things, but it's nothing like groundbreaking. One thing it did show is that the robots in the Fortress of Solitude, the robots are practical.
Oh, that's cool.
That was dope to see. The robots are practical; they're not CGI.
yeah.
Which look, by all means, but James Gunn is a person who likes to do as much practical stuff as he can.
Yeah, if you can and mix it in with some good CGI to
fine
make
with that.
everything, clean it all up, I think that's the perfect way to do it.
So speaking of Superman, so there has been a wonder who's the final boss of this movie, right? Who's the big bad? So
I'm final boss. I don't want you to respect the name of the Rock.
You mean the motherfucker that stayed at home finishing the Rubik's Cube?
Yeah, he don't need to be there. All right, he sent Travis Scott. We're good.
So we know the Man of Steel is going to match wits with Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult. But what about the hulking figure that's dressed in all black who's been spotted in set photos with a U on his chest? It had previously been reported that he's Ultraman, a character with the comic book history that's extremely complicated. So the scooper, who's been pretty accurate on social media, My Time to Shine H, says, quote, I can now 100% confirm that the Superman clone and final boss of the Superman movie is indeed Ultraman. So James Gunn is basically putting a spin on Bizarro.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Which, if you think about, could lead to an actual Bizarro. You have this Ultraman.
Yeah.
You know, we don't. If we go the route that Marvel didn't go opening up, and we don't kill our villains right off the bat, this guy can transform into later films as Bizarro.
Now, for those who remember Ultraman from the alternate reality, when he's a different reality Superman, and his ally was Lex Luthor, and he was out here bad. When the whole Justice League, they was the evil version of him. They were the what were they called? The Crime Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
They were the Crime Syndicate, and but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Regardless, I just gotta wait to the movie. I can't. All these little things keep coming out. All these different, all these different things are coming out about the film. We are seeing more and more, and I know it's a push because this is a thing that's happening where the same, like within 2 weeks of each other, it's this and Fantastic Four. So,
I didn't realize we're so close to each other.
Oh yeah, they're like 2 weeks from each other. Wow, they're like 2 weeks apart. So there's a whole lot.
They've done a really good job of getting me on board with this Superman because I'm not a huge Superman fan. It's just it's a hard thing to really care about because it's just so easy for Superman. As a kid, I loved him, but as I grew up, I got a little less interested in him. But the marketing and everything behind this film has really brought me on board.
Hold on. Okay, why is there a delay? Because I told you to hold on and you stopped and your voice kept going. So we gotta take a second back and say what you just said one more time.
Right here. Are we good?
You are hella frozen.
You're hella frozen?
Yeah.
I'm good now. We're good.
You're good now.
All right. Take two. They've gotten me on board with this because I've never really been a big fan of Superman, because it's always been too easy for him. It's just Superman. As a kid, I loved it because it's like, yeah, Superman. But as I grew up, I just kind of distanced myself from Superman and got into more characters that were more multidimensional,
Okay.
And now they have done a good job of getting me on board and getting me interested to see how this plays out and this whole new world and everything they've done. So I didn't think I was really going to be excited for a Superman movie, but now I'm kind of starting to sit on the edge of my seat and I'm kind of waiting for this, man. It's really starting to hype me up.
I'm excited to see it. I'm a James Gunn fan. I'm not gonna lie. I like his work. There's something about what he does that just aesthetically it works for me. Like I like the way it looks. I like the feel you get. I like the heart you always get out of his stuff.
Yeah.
I really dig with the heart you get out of his stuff. So I'm excited to see what happens. But speaking of the movie is going up against in our Marvel news, Fantastic Four. So there's been a supposed plot leak that surfaced now last week. The first official trailer dropped for Fantastic Four. And we getting
That was a sick trailer.
What is it?
That was a sick trailer.
So it was meant to tell y'all, first of all, it's in an alternate world set in like 60s. Everybody like, I don't know why it looks so alternate fucking universe. So it said that the movie is going to open with a late night talk show celebrating 4 years of the Fantastic Four. It's going to recap their origins and previous adventures. This is why this isn't an origin story. It said, but Marvel's first family is MIA because they're busy battling Red Ghost, played by John Malkovich, and his Super Apes. The Silver Surfer this is a part of the plot, supposedly. The Surfer, who we got our first look at as Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer, who let me stop and pull the pen and pin this. Anybody listening and watching who got fucking upset, you're an idiot. And especially if you went and said, Marvel went woke. They didn't gender swap the Silver Surfer. They
Oh my
done
god, no,
made a woman.
no, they didn't.
Hmm?
That's fucking stupid. Shut the fuck up and read a goddamn comic. I don't even like the Fantastic Four. I've never read anything. I don't know jack shit about them. But you know what? I know there's a goddamn female Silver Surfer. I know who the fuck she is.
She's his wife.
Yeah. Fucking
Shella
morons.
Ball is his wife. So I digress. It said the serpent shows up on Halloween and things play out how we saw in the trailer. Now the team follows Galactus' herald into space, but Sue goes into labor in the journey, and it's revealed that her and Reed's son Franklin has a rare quote unquote genetic anomaly that gives him godlike power of molecular manipulation. The Fantastic Four. This is a supposed plot leak. The Four confront Galactus. He offers to spare Earth in exchange for Franklin, as he wishes to use the boy to revive his dead universe. They refuse. Now, back on Earth, the team's adoring public turns on them because they won't sacrifice one child in exchange for the lives of billions, and storm the Baxter building, going so far, hey, this is some bullshit, to attack Herbie.
They hurt Herbie.
No, you don't. They said the Fantastic
Good, I'm
Four,
glad this world dies.
they said they go into hiding, and Natasha Lyons Sharon, who is likely Sharon Venture, who becomes the female thing, helps them seek refuge in Subterranea. Now, Mole Man, who's played by Paul Walter Hauser, becomes an ally to the team since clashing with them years earlier, and Sharon convinces him to send his Moloids to rescue people while the Fantastic Four battle Galactus on the surface, which in the trailer you see him walking like the Statue of Liberty did in Ghostbusters 2. Which also, I saw people
I know people are gonna hate on. Look, I'm not on the internet much anymore, so I don't really see all the hate anymore.
Mhm.
And I bet people are hating. I don't give a fuck. I love it. I want to make a TikTok with the music from Ghostbusters going to it.
You know your love keeps on lifting. Love keeps lifting higher and higher. So people were mad because they were saying that, oh, why is Galactus walking Earth? And I'm like, do y'all not understand Galactus can change his entire size?
Mm-hmm.
There are times he is standing outside of the Earth looking in. And there are other times where he is right there on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? But this is again going with the supposed plot leak. With the Serpent's help, the team beats the World Eater and saves the day. Mole Man and Sharon become an item. The public adores the team again, and a year later, the same talk show celebrates 5 years of the heroes. However, they miss it again because they're busy saving the world. If they're busy saving the world, now they say if this leak is accurate, it sounds like a really fun movie and a comic accurate take on the characters, which it is. Which it definitely would be. And it appears the heroes are still on Earth when Avengers Doomsday begins. However, between Galactus searching for a dead reality and Franklin's godlike powers, it's hard to see how important the team will be to what happens there. So I'm excited to see that.
I think, okay, whether it's real or not, the leak. I think it could be. I think it could be possibly a different version of the script that was made too, because a lot of it sounds very, what I would think the movie is going to be. Nothing sounds too out of the ordinary in there. I buy most of it. Sounds like a good plot. Maybe some things are a little different than what we're seeing. Who really knows? But I'm on board. I'm ready for it.
When I saw the trailer, when you find out she's pregnant, I was like, okay, so Franklin to be a part of this, because Franklin can be an essential part, because also her being pregnant with someone who is going to develop godlike abilities could cause her abilities to act up, right?
Uh-huh.
So that was that, and then I was having a discussion with some friends, and we were saying that possibly one of the things could be the surfer won't hurt Sue once she realizes Sue has a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though she is still the surfer, she's the herald. she's, I think I'm not mistaken. I think her and Norman had a kid, or
I
we're
think
trying
they
to have,
did too. I was like, because I was about to go. I go. I think she was a mother.
yeah. So that'll be why she pulls away from that. But also to see Franklin is a good thing because you gonna need somebody like this against this big mother. So yeah, again, it's set to release July 25th of this year, which is Comic-Con weekend. I'm of the mindset where I'm gonna be excited to see her. Why you have FOMO? Just go.
For Comic-Con? What? It'd be a commoner? I don't get no passes no more. I don't get in anymore.
Hey man, I don't know what to tell you, brother.
I'm not cool like you, Jay.
Hey man. I am not cool.
You're really cool.
I'm cooler than a polar bear's toenails. Oh hell, there you go again talking this shit.
Y'all love me.
Shouts out to the homie Jacob 52. So yeah, what else was there about Fantastic Four I had that I wanted to? Oh, I did have some other DC news. I'm sorry. So y'all go.
It's not a barbershop talk go. Sometimes you go back and forth.
Ben Affleck, he said that he enjoyed playing Batman. He said he didn't like every single aspect of the experience. So this is the one thing he said he hated about it. Okay, you ready to hear the one thing he said he hated? Yes. What do you think is the one thing Ben Affleck hated about playing Batman?
My thought process would be that they would not let him direct his own film, even though he's an Oscar-winning director. That would be the one thing I think he would hate the most about being Batman.
Okay. So here's what happened. He says, quote, I hated the bat suits. The bat suits are horrendous to wear. They're hot for one thing. They don't breathe. They're made to look like the way they want them to look. There's no thought put into the human being. So what happens is you just start sweating. I sweat. You know what I mean? So in that thing,
we sweat.
You just be pouring water. It just made it difficult to make the movie because you're so hot. It also does not make you feel very heroic because you're instantly exhausted and sweaty. Maybe Christian or Rob, guys like that, were just better at dealing with it. Look, his suits, I could absolutely agree with. His suits look bulky as shit. So yeah. His suits look bulky as shit.
I do that Batman vs Superman metal Dark Knight suit. That had to be a nightmare.
Even if it ain't metal, if it was foam, harp, all that shit is just layered up on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all joke about superhero suits and how some of them look good, some of them look bad, or what you would do if you had one. The only one I would love to have a functional version of is Tony Stark's.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, did you see Cody's Iron Man mask?
Yes, I did.
In his entrance, that was so cool. I popped so hard, man.
But here's why I said Tony Stark's. Because Tony Stark's, one thing he made about the Iron Man suit, he made it with a fan inside. Now, unless the suit loses power, then you start cooking like a baked potato on the inside. But speaking of, going back to the Fantastic Four, so Marvel Japan has just dropped a new wave of merchandise. And it's the pictures and stuff. They say you got to zoom in on it. But what you will see is some never-before-seen shots of the Fantastic Car, the team in costume, including the shot of the Human Torch with just his hands on fire, a shadowy look at Galactus, which offers a better idea of what his iconic headpiece will look like. And there's a great shot of what did I just have? And there's a great shot of the team together with Mr. Fantastic stretchy powers full on display, which we saw. Can you look at the camera, brother? We are recording video. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm sorry.
You know, I get frustrated with things like this. And I know somebody's gonna say, well, you looking down. I'm looking at stuff to talk still.
He's reading stuff. I'm sorry, I just got a text. My buddy's father just pulled through something. So
congratulations, then.
I had to check that and go, oh, that's awesome. That's really
well.
Good.
Now I feel like an asshole. Thank you.
Yeah, they thought like as of last night, they were like, okay, he's dead. And now this morning, complete 180.
Oh no, I feel like an asshole. Appreciate it.
It's
All right. Cool. No, you know what? I deserved it. I deserved it. I deserved all of that. You know what? But going back to the thing, so this is what Pedro Pascal said at Star Wars Celebration because he was asked about his Reed Richards character.
yeah.
Said with Reed, his body may stretch, but this is a brain character. He said, I guess I'll just give it completely away. I thought of the brilliance of an octopus, not in any literal physical translated way, but I put it into my subconscious. Yeah, that's the bigger character secret reveal that I've given to you.
That's really cool. That's a good way to look at that, though, now that I think about it, because that's something I haven't liked about the other Fantastic Four movies, because he always seemed like he was in charge and knew what he was doing. You know, I want Reed Richards to kind of second guess himself, even though he is the smartest man. He should still be like, I don't know, because he's not the physical guy.
When he says in the trailer, are we going to be able to ask? Are we? I don't know.
Yeah, I love that. That's the Reed Richards I want to see. And I really think they're going to do, Pedro Pascal is going to do a great job at pulling this out. And I'm really interested to see if they're able to suck me in more than any of the other Fantastic Four has ever really been able to do.
I think it will. I think it will, absolutely, because of, I've said this consistently, with Marvel Studios having the rights to this character. This is Marvel's first family. This is the one they want to get right. They have to get right. They've got to get right.
Mm-hmm. They have to.
So I think this in more situations than not, more cases will definitely be given more attention to. I think the problem is, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again openly. Have all of Marvel's recent films or TV shows been hits? Absolutely not. Have some of them been major misses? Some have. But I think, and I've said this on the show, that prominence that everyone expected them to follow immediately after Endgame put a level of pressure that was unobtainable in the moment. You are not going to keep that same type of in-game momentum.
Yeah.
In-game.
You have to reset.
Yes.
You have to lower expectation. And again, not to once again jump right back into wrestling, but look at last year's WrestleMania. Everybody involved in every single match. Look at this year's WrestleMania. We got to slow it down. Have just our guys together. Close it out on just them. Next year, we'll add a bunch more pop. You have to lower expectations so that you can build them back up. All right? We have saved the world. We've done this. We've done this major shit. We got to drop it back down and build up.
Absolutely.
And that's not, hey, let's go make bad movies so we can build. No. They tried to make good movies, but at the same time, they tried to slow it down a little by throwing in all this other stuff, but making it different places and on a lower level. And yeah, it got out of hand and a little more than we wanted, but I think they've got their heads on straight now and they know where they're going. I think we're okay now, and we're starting to see those seeds finally grow.
Well, the thing is too, we're in a good place, and of course, no matter what happens at the end of all of this, after Secret Wars, the universe resets.
Mm-hmm.
The universe resets, and so it's a start over completely.
Exactly. And we don't know what the hell is going to happen after this. We don't know how the story is going to change, what we're going to do, what the universe is going to look like when we have finished with Secret Wars. So I think the best thing that we as a community can do now is just stand in line, get on those seats, and enjoy this ride. Because from now until Secret Wars, it's going to be a fucking ride, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Random. I was just thinking this while we were talking about this. When Fantastic Four comes out, we should totally do a review of Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. Have you ever seen it?
No, and there's a reason I haven't.
Oh, I've seen it, baby.
There's a reason.
It is a.
Here's the thing.
That's a classic film, man.
For those listening and watching, if you want the review, put it in the comments. But also, if we do it, just to let you know, if enough people warrant it, we'll do it. But it'll go solely in the Supervillain Squad Patreon.
Okay.
And once people have seen it in the Patreon, then we will go and, then maybe we'll eventually release it to the public. But maybe. But this will be a Patreon exclusive because I have avoided this movie with all of my soul.
When I watched my Deadpool and Wolverine Ultimate Marvel rewatch, I watched Roger Corman's Fantastic Four.
Who hurt you?
Listen, man, I don't really have much to do during the day, so all I do is watch movies. So I was like, I'm gonna watch everything. I watched that the 1970s Captain America movies. Oh, those
Not the cap on the motorcycle
with the plastic.
So here's what's funny. So I've recently been going to like several Marvel trivia nights, right?
Oh, that's not fair.
First of all, here's the thing. If it's MCU solely, like, because there's a lot of gaps in comic book history and lore I have. I openly admit that I don't know a lot of comic books. There's some things in comic book lore I don't know. So it's great to have teammates who may know the shit that I don't. Man, when I tell you it's certain things about Marvel film, though, like Captain America is not really considered Marvel movies, but the first official like TV movie of Marvel. When I tell you I've been fighting that question, it keeps coming up, and I'm like, you motherfuckers ain't gonna get me wrong on this because I know what this is. It's been the Trial of the Incredible Hulk. When I tell you, everybody was like, it was a question during the trivia I just said recently did my buddy, Dr. Jason Johnson of MSNBC, excuse me, and he was like, "What was the first TV movie?" I was like, "Oh, the Trial of the Incredible Hulk." He was like, "What?" I was like, "It's the Trial of the Incredible Hulk because Daredevil is introduced in it." He was like, "How do you remember that?" I watched that shit on NBC.
I haven't. I bought it. I paid for it. I bought the entire series.
I also love the question always becomes, who is the anthropomorphic character? When I hear that question, I know what the answer is automatically. When you hear anthropomorphic in Marvel, it's like Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
More than like it's more than like
Howard the Duck too.
Right. Do you know a lot of people didn't know Howard the Duck was a Marvel character
until he showed up in Guardians?
Right. He has been a Marvel character. Even when Howard had his movie, he was a Marvel character. But a lot of people.
What about Generation X? Have you ever watched it?
Oh my God, that shit that came on like WGN or some shit like that.
I watched it during my rewatch.
That was their horrible attempt at like an alternate X-Men.
Yep. Oh, you know what else is fucking awesome? Dolph Lundgren's Punisher.
Yes. Yes.
It's him versus the Yakuza. I had no idea.
Yes. There was another question. For one of the trivia nights was, who was the first Punisher? And everybody kept going, Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane. I was like, no. Dolph Lundgren was the first Punisher. It's like Dolph Lundgren. And
so I actually really enjoyed Man-Thing that was on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, let's just go because we going way too bad. This motherfucker brought up Man-Thing.
On the Sci-Fi, not the Cynthia Channel, the Sci-Fi Channel.
You mean Ted?
Yes.
His name is Ted. Respect him. For those who did, if you have not watched Werewolf by Night, the special presentation, you have, because Man-Thing is involved. And he said, "My name." He basically, his name's Ted. Like he had a woman.
So Technicolor or black and white? Which version do you like?
I have not seen the Technicolor one yet.
It pops, but I gotta stick with black and white.
because the original was black and white.
Yeah.
And it was just something about it I just really, really, really loved, man.
It's special, man. It's good.
So speaking of special presentations, John Barenthal, who plays the Punisher, he has revealed the inspiration for writing the Punisher Marvel Studios special presentation. So the reason he was introduced in Daredevil is because he is getting a special presentation. So he's opened up about what the fans can expect to get and a deeper look into his creative process. So this was during the red carpet for The Accountant 2. He was asked to comment on the status of it. He took time to thank the military community for their assistance in helping him define the character and revealed that he's consulting with various specialists to write the show. This is what he said, quote, hear me real quick. This is what he said. He said this to let us who let us out. This is the outlet, but this is what John said. For the Marine Corps and that community for helping me on this journey, helping me write, helping me find this character, some of the best people that we have in this country that have worn that Punisher skull on their body armor when they've taken that unbelievable walk into danger to stand up for our country. That's something that I take enormously seriously, and I make this show for them. I make it with them. I just really, really want to get it right.
I like that. And you know John Bernthal. You've had many conversations with him. And so you get his mindset.
Worked on a TV show together we're in called American Gigolo that you can still see possibly on Paramount Plus if they haven't taken it down.
Yes,
but if they didn't, you can buy it on Amazon.
Buy that help. Where was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, and you know, I've watched a few of his podcasts too, and he is very, very into the military and respects them, and it makes a lot of sense. And I love the way that he has really controlled this character. I loved Thomas Jane's Punisher. It's one of my all-time favorite comic book movies. I can't tell you how many times I watched it while I was in college, man, over and over and over. But John Bernthal has done something special with this guy and made him really real, raw, and relatable. And I love seeing it. And what they did with him in Daredevil was great. And if that is a sign of what's to come, I am all on board.
I love also the fact that this character with John, he wanted to go more in depth of the trauma that Frank lives with
every day,
as opposed to just exacting revenge. Thomas Jane and Ray Stevenson, they showed us just Frank just wants revenge, which we all know that it's this thing, right?
Yeah.
But in his series, to watch how this man still has consistent nightmares, no matter how long his family has been gone, no matter how much he tries to move on, he has tried to, even while he is still being the Punisher, he has tried to move on with life and tried to get him. He done got him some. He thought, oh, maybe I can move on with this single mom and her kid. You know, I buy this little nigga breakfast. But now he's tormented.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we see him in Daredevil Born Again, you know, he is just tormented. I think, remember, after Punisher season 2, he has a new lease on life. If you remember at the end of Punisher season 2, the Department of Homeland Security, they kind of was like, hey, bro, we got you. Hey, man, we sorry. We didn't even know all this shit was going on like that. Yo, you got fucked over royally, bro. Damn, our bad. That's literally what Homeland Security said. Because even Rocky told him, he said, Frank Castle is a wanted man and, you know, whatnot. But Pete Castiglione has a free ride in life. He said, we wiped you out the systems, all that.
Yeah.
So, because again, when your country is like, fuck, oops.
You know, and it goes a lot back to Daredevil season 2, with the trial of Frank, and you got Karen in there, and she's always talking. She's like, look, this man is always in a state of fight or flight. That's how his brain is wired now. Mm-hmm. He is always in that state, but he's still able to hold things together for the most part. And he has a stable head on. Like, he's not doing things out of it that's just crazy and out on it. He has a code. He sticks to that code and he follows it. My absolute favorite Punisher moment comes from the original Civil War storyline. Cap and all his guys are underground, and he's got some bad guys with him that are on his team. He's got some good guys with him and is on his team. He goes to get a meeting with everybody. He's like, look, I've got Frank here now. Frank's with us. He's going to help us. And then, like, I think it's Green Goblin or someone walks up to say hello to Frank, to Punisher. And Frank just pulls out, pop, pop. Cap just goes nuts, beats his ass. He's like, why did you do it? And Frank won't hit him back because, he's got a love for Captain America. And he's like, why would you do that? Why did you shoot them? He's like, they're bad guys. I shot them. And that's the mentality of Frank. He's like, I saw bad guys. I killed the bad guys. What do you want from me?
You know what? Can't be mad at that.
Greatest moment ever. Point blank, pop, pop. That guy.
It's the epitome of sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas. Like, just real quick. Just got to show them. So I'm excited.
He just lets Cap beat his ass.
Well, yeah, like you do say, I do know that. Like I would love to see what would happen with the interaction of this captain, of Sam Wilson and Frank Castle, because Frank knows Steve Rogers, Captain America, right? But here's the beautiful thing about Frank Castle. Frank Castle, like Karen Page said, is always in a constant state of fight or flight. He loves Captain America because he loves what he stands for. He loves the military because Frank, and even in the shows we see, he's a former Marine who is still all about his Marine code, no matter what. That's like even when you had the shorty in season 2, Lewis, who was going AWOL. He was like, "Yo, you might be Army, we're military. Yo, this ain't you on bullshit."
Yeah,
I would love to see how he handles Sam Wilson, because
I would give anything for a scene with
or how Sam Wilson, more so how Sam Wilson would handle him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Just get Anthony Mackie and John Barenthal together. Oh, that would be a beautiful scene. Because
they both have their codes, and Mackie has given these speeches where it's been do better. Like, how do you tell somebody who I'm just gonna kill everybody? I'm just gonna kill them. How do you tell them to do better? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you tell a dude who if you're around a person he thinks should have been dead, they're gonna die. Okay, it's not they're gonna go.
There's a great quote of Nick Fury, and they said that if you ever wanted to take over a country, all I would do is drop Frank at one end and the Hulk at the other end and tell them to meet in the middle.
I didn't know. Yo, where is that at?
I don't know, but someone read that quote to me, and I was like, that is one of the best things I've ever heard.
Bro, because it's one of the realest things. Drop Frank at one end, the Hulk at the other. Meet in the middle.
I don't know what comic it's from or what, but it was Fury going, that's how you disable disable a country.
Yeah, because you can't. We got this dude coming through who is just murdering everyone, who is like doing all the crazy shit. Who just sent me a message? Assumed you were busy. Oh, that's Winston. I'll hit him back. All right, let's get through this last few things I got. So Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man Noir, the possible release date has been revealed. Now, keyword is possible. If you didn't know, this is going to Amazon and MGM Plus in 2026. It is a live action. It's live action, baby. So it's been reported by Nexus Point News, so I'm not exactly sure how viable they are. They say no precise release date is yet to be announced. However, Next Point News can exclusively confirm that Spider-Man Noir will release in early 2026. So it's not confirmed how they know. No sources mentioned. So take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, it's set in an alternative version of 1930s New York, where the character is struggling with his past as New York's one and only Spider-Man. Oren Uziel and Steve Lightfoot serve as showrunners who developed the show with Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and Amy Pascal. So yeah.
And this is the same Spider-Man Noir from the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hyped. I'm excited.
Yes, it's him. That's the thing. That's the crazy part. So Spider-Man Noir will be the first live-action Spider-Man related series, but the plan was for Silk, Spider Society, to be the first. Now, not much was known about the series other than it had a rocky development, which I remember hearing, the firing of all the writers, and then its cancellation.
Yeah.
So, but Sony, they say Sony could use the win because their Sony made Spider-Man universe. You had Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Venom the Last Dance.
So good. And then you had the ultimate classic,
Morbius, next to the iconically classic Madam Web. And then Craven the Hunter. Did I tell y'all last week I watched that?
I saw on your social media you were watching it.
Did I tell y'all I watched that shit? I have so many fucking questions.
Yo, but that chameleon at the end was everything I ever wanted from the very first episode I saw of Spider-Man the animated series that had him in it. I have one, and I was like, that looks just like him.
So yeah, that's what we're looking forward. So yeah, that is all the news I have. Now, I do have some emails to the Mad Titan email. Again, as always, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com. You can send me an email. This first email is from Jolene. I miss you, Jolene. How are you? I actually looked through the emails and I saw you sign back up for the 101s, and I have to do that. Also, let me give a personal public apology to Jolene. Jolene commissioned me to do 2 portraits, and I was doing one a sound wave and another one. Well, I got hit. My apartment got, because I'm on the upper floor. BC knows how my apartment is set. We caught a lot of rain, and rain went into my fucking water, went into my apartment, messed up the things. Then on top of that, my building all of a sudden caught a little mouse problem, and I didn't know that it was a hole under my sink, and them bitches came in and chewed through it. So I have to try to redo those. And I want to redo those with Jolie. So I wanted to make sure I gave you a public apology for that. I don't want you to ever think I just, screwed you over. I kept trying to update you on things. So I want to make sure I publicly apologize for that. But Jolene says, watching your Cat Force spoiler.
If it makes you feel better, Jolene, I've been waiting for about 5 years for a Kingpin painting from Jay.
But he also know he ain't getting shit out of me. I'm just saying I can't even see BC's reaction because I'm looking at, I don't know how BC's face look right now because I'm looking at the email screen. So this is what she said. Watch your Cat Force spoiler review, and Jay, god damn, what a disappointing movie. Remember when the leader leans into Sam and says, quote, "I'm the hero"? He could have said, "I'm the leader." Like, come on. And they cut out my girl Diamondback, poor Rosa Salazar. What a bummer. Both of Mackey's Cap projects have been disappointing for me. The guy deserves better. Anyway, happy to hear from you and BC again. I am 1,000% with you. I said it like I said in my review. This is Captain America dropped into an Incredible Hulk sequel. The Serpent Society being taken out is terrible. And they tried to offset it with the Giancarlo Esposito, but then you had to try to do so much editing around Sabra, and it sucks that both of his individual projects have been the ones that have been screwed over. Like, it's just been insane.
I'm gonna say this. First off, I loved Falcon and Winter Soldier. I thought that was a great series. It is next to Daredevil. It is my probably one of my favorite series they did.
Really?
I know a lot of people didn't really like it too much, but I really enjoyed that thing. And I gotta say, I take a little bit of an issue with people who go, "Oh, this is just Incredible Hulk 2." because we as a community constantly bitch that we don't connect the universe. You know, we've been bitching about that.
No, don't do
Let me
that.
finish.
Okay,
Let me
mhm.
finish. And then when we bring in characters that we haven't used that were from old movies, this is not Incredible Hulk 2. Technically, it's not even Captain America 4. What this was is MCU 35. All right, this is the 35th MCU movie. So we took some villains that we had. Now, that's not saying that they did not make mistakes in this film. It is a Frankenstein movie, cutting out Seth Rollins, refilming him with Giancarlo Esposito. All sorts of things changed. So, yes, there is a lot of issues with Brave New World. But to be honest with you, I had a fun time with it. And again, that's probably just me and my positive, I want to enjoy everything mentality. But I do, it does bother me when people are like, oh, this is just Incredible Hulk 4. Or Incredible Hulk 2, just because we took characters from Incredible Hulk. It's MCU. We're using this world. I like that we at least back to them.
Let me know when you're done, because I'm
good. You go ahead. You can go ahead and tear me apart now.
I'm gonna tear exactly what you said apart. Here's why. I just clicked back from that. For those who's wondering why I probably wasn't even looking at him really, I was looking still at the email screen because I didn't want to hear the bullshit he just said. Because that's all it was. You just gave a bullshit response.
I don't care. I liked it. I had fun with it.
There's nothing wrong with liking it. Again, you can absolutely like it. There's nothing wrong with it. But I feel like your excuse is a bullshit excuse, bro. This movie was more so about all the shit surrounding the Incredible Hulk in regards to the Red Hulk, Thaddeus Ross, the leader, all this shit. Sam Wilson is an afterthought. An afterthought.
But again, I feel like the titles of these movies are just the titles. This is MCU.
But you can't do that. You can't. I know what you're saying, but you can't give it that, bro. You can't sit there. Look, I am one of those people, just like many others, who go, the MCU is a giant TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And all these movies are just long-ass episodes of a TV show.
Yes.
I agree with that. But just like on a TV show, every episode has its own title and its own thing. If it's a serial show, it connects, which this is. If it's the procedural, it's an individual thing. Now, these are a bit of both because it's supposed to be its own individual thing while connecting to the overarching. The problem is it does connect to the overarching. I get that. But everything about this movie was not about the character. Was not about
it was about the universe as a whole.
That's fine, but look, Civil War was about. Don't get me wrong,
I would much rather a slower, non-Hulk centered Captain America with Anthony Mackie. I would have rather. Don't get me wrong, I would have rathered that, but I think I just think the way we talk about it is a little. We bitch when it doesn't connect, and then when they try to bring in characters from the past and connect it all over, just use all these characters that are in our toy box, we complain about it. And I just feel that it's just something we do. But and again, it's not to say the movie doesn't have its problem. The movie has its problems. It does. But I don't think it's one of the worst. Everyone's talking like it's one of the worst MCU movies. I think it's middle tier MCU. It's fine. It served the purpose.
I agree. I think it's middle tier. I think the problem becomes we are looking for, again, this is like I stated earlier, everyone is looking for these grand slam home runs post Endgame. Mm-hmm. And
we got
you're just not going to get it, unfortunately. No. You're just not. You know, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania should have been a grand slam, but there are behind the scenes issues that went with that. Again, the ending of the film that we got was not supposed to be the ending of the film.
No.
Because it was supposed to happen that was supposed to leave Scott and Hope stuck in the quantum realm.
At the very least, they should have left Hope there.
But they didn't want to do another movie. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to do another whole full film. And so it's like you got to change. It's just
shit happens.
So thank you for that email, Jolene. You got me cussing BC out, which probably this will be another one that gets me to cuss him out. So shout out Fred Tax 314, regular viewer, listener. Much appreciate you.
Really?
The subject says Thor. Okay. Says, hey, J and BC, I know we're getting a Thor 5. Wait, we are? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna Google that.
You finish the email. Let me look.
Okay. Says, hey, J and BC, I know we're getting a Thor 5, but I have a couple of quote unquote what ifs about his future. We know Zeus sends Hercules to avenge him, but where to from here? Hercules could kill Thor, and that would be the end of his timeline, or Thor could either defeat Hercules or eventually team up with him for future adventures. But where does that leave Zeus? Are there comics where Zeus retaliates against Thor or Earth? Also, I really want to see the goats again. Thanks for reading my email.
Listen, those goats are kind of funny, but I don't ever want to see them again. If anybody please makes a gif of Jay doing that, I will. You'll be my best friend forever. Listen, if we see Zeus again, it is going to be a very fast Thor is kicking his ass and then moving on to the rest of whatever our story is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it is going to be a payoff for nothing, and then we're moving on to something else really quick.
Wait, can you ask this question real quick? Did you find out if they're doing Thor 5?
No, they're not anywhere I see. Everyone says, I got a good idea for Thor 5. Screen Rant has some kind of article about how they can fix something from the MCU with Thor 5, but nothing about an actual Thor 5 happening.
Okay. Yeah, I was like...
Looks like Heroic Hollywood did a April Fool's joke of Martin Scorsese to direct Thor 5.
You know what the problem is? I'm almost 100% sure someone saw that and was like, yo, they switched his mind, bro. He said he gonna do it. We're gonna get real cinema. Shut the fuck up. But go ahead, you're saying.
But yeah, so I don't think there's actually a Thor 5. But yeah, I don't see us seeing Zeus. I would, don't get me wrong, I'd really want to see old boy as Hercules. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, man.
But I think after the way that, because look, we talk about people not liking Brave New World. I hated Love and Thunder. I think it's fucking awful. It is one of the worst things Marvel has done.
Can you explain to me why do you feel that way with Love and Thunder?
The humor is too over the top, and it isn't fun. Like it's like two different movies. When Christian Bale's on screen, it is very serious, and he is such a good character. And then when everyone else is on screen, none of it makes any sense. And I get the aesthetic of, oh, this is coming from Korg telling the story. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's funny. It just didn't hit with me, and I just don't like it. And then all the fucking orgy jokes with Zeus, I was like, this is dumb. This is not funny. It's stupid.
You don't like an orgy?
Look, an orgy's fine, but I don't need Russell Crowe saying orgy. You can't come to the orgy anymore. Fuck that shit. It was so dumb.
Okay, tell us how you really feel. Okay, you know what?
Love and Thunder is the first movie I hated more than Iron Man 3.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So here's my issue with Love and Thunder. Okay. Everything you said. Everything you said. Like,
just to pay it off, was like, oh, now he's got a kid. What? Why?
Well, you allow. So the problem was, we all know Chris Hemsworth has been wanting to be more and more comedic with Thor, right? That's all he's been wanting to do. But Taika Waititi was like, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. And do what you want to do is like, hey, no.
Ragnarok?
You rein him in. Ragnarok, perfect. Do not give him
Endgame.
Perfect. Rein him the fuck in. And so that's how you do that. Listen, that's all the emails that we got. Let me double check and make sure. You can send emails over madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com. Man, I just checked the spam from the Mad Titan email. Bro, I have so many direct deposits of $13,963.99 with no deposit required.
That's good.
Cash App says it's 5 times in a row. Man, I would love for Cash App to just say, yo, someone sent you $400 so you can pay your car note off for this past month that you missed. That's what I want Cash App to say.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, regardless, that's all we got for this week. Like I said, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com. You want to get some emails into the show. BC, bro, thank you as always. Tell the people how they can find you, get in touch with you.
You can holler at me on TikTok and Instagram at The Grind Calls. And of course, the best way to talk to me is go join the Super Villain podcast and get into the Discord and hang out with us in there. Probably starting this week, I'm going to put up something on the Patreon called BC's Bullshit. I'm just going to talk about whatever the hell I want. And come join us and bullshit with us.
You see, that's how that works there. For me, I'm on Twitter. Mama named Twitter. I'm going to call it Twitter. Now, yes, I do respect people when they change their pronouns and all that. But in this case, I'm not respecting.
Do you still tweet? Is it still tweeting?
I still call it tweeting.
I know, but is there a technical new name for it? Do they call it Xing? Like, I don't know. Like,
sounds freaky as fuck.
X is already a weird ass name for it. Like, what the fuck?
Anyway, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, of course, Mr. J Washington. I'm Mr. J Washington across the board. I'm on TikTok. I got to start posting more on TikTok, and I know this now, but I be trying to remember to do a fucking, hey, let me do a reaction video. Let me post a carousel.
You should do your dances.
You should.
When you come to Dallas for your show, here, oh my God, we're going to film so many TikTok dances.
I literally should be like, you should go fuck yourself. This is all I'm like, you should go fuck yourself, buddy. Yeah, I am coming to Dallas June 8th, which is, now I'm very upset that I'm coming to Dallas June 8th because I have to leave here the day before just to make sure I get there. And now these motherfuckers announced they're doing all that shit here on June 7th. Ain't this a bitch? Money in the Bank, Worlds Collide. I know all my homies who work AAA are coming up.
That's going to be insane.
I was just talking to a couple of them. They was like, we'll talk about it off air. But we'll holler at y'all next week again. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. I mean, if there's any little glitches or whatever, it's technology with this. Please make sure you like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, comment down below. Let us know it. Get a part of the conversation while it's going right here down below. If you're listening on the audio feed, please leave a review, 5 stars, help us boost stuff in the algorithm as well. Share this and good shit, all that. Holler at y'all next week. Till then, we're out. Take care. Goodbye.